I'm live. It's another Monday. Oh, good, a Monday. But it's Monday, so, yay. Because that means there's a stream, clearly. And if there's a stream, then you know what's about to happen. Because it's still September. Yes, Geeson, I know it's not September for you. You don't need to mention that. September where I am. And since I'm the streamer here, that's what matters most. Anyway, yeah. Satisfactory? Anyone? Also, it's the final day of September. That's September, not September. I don't actually know if it is 100% the final day or not. It might go on slightly longer, but I think it's over by the time I would probably stream next, which is probably Wednesday. I don't know that I'll stream tomorrow. We'll see. But I'm treating this as if it's the final day because it's probably the final day where it'll be in effect while I'm streaming. So, yeah, get your gift subs in and regular subs and things, I guess. Ends at 12 a.m. Pacific? Okay. Yeah, I seem to remember seeing something that I swear said October 2nd somewhere. I know the bonus subs expire tonight at like 3 a.m. Eastern, which is 12 a.m. Pacific, obviously. But yeah, I don't know where I got that October 2nd date from. Either way, it's, for all intensive purposes, it's done tonight for me regardless of what it is. But if it does technically go on beyond when I'm going to stream regardless. But anyway. So yeah, September, it's ending. But there's still a little bit of time. Not that anything counts towards an October payout at this point, because Twitch, I don't understand. I mean, I do understand it, but I don't understand why they're so inconsistent. You know, they use local time zones for schedules, which is nice. Because I just have to put in whatever time it is for me, and you'll see whatever time it is for you on the schedule page. But then, when it comes to their events and such, it says it's until 10th of January? Okay, that just sounds outright, just completely wrong. Anyway, words, things. They do these events based on Pacific time. But then internally, when they're doing stuff, they use UTC, and that includes when they determine whether a payment, or, you know, whether, like, a payment towards them. So bits or subs or whatever goes towards one month or another. Anyway, that's just a minor gripe, because this stream right at the end of the month, any income I would earn during this, which might just be ad revenue for all I know, but that's fine. It's, despite being in September, it'll count towards October, which doesn't go in a payout in October because the cutoff is the first of the month at midnight. UTC. Ah, gotcha, Geeson. So, October 1st, because American formatting and not British. That makes a bit more sense. Yay, international differences! Anyway, let's get into the game. I haven't even launched it yet. So let's do that. Noisy chair. I do have another chair that shouldn't make as much noise, hopefully. I don't know that for a fact, but I do have another chair over in my room. It needs a little bit of assembling, but I could very easily just swap it in for this one. The reason I still use this one, though, is because there's some things about it that I prefer. And it's not quite broken enough to absolutely need replacing. It's a stupid reason, but I'm sticking with it. Only played 13 hours today? Jesus. I don't want to think about how many hours I've played since this save was started. But I think it's over 100. How many hours do I have once my shift tab input can be registered? Why is this window so big? Yeah, no, we're just about to hit 100 hours in this save. Okay. Got rained off. Oh. Well, I mean, good for you if you wanted to, spend it gaming, I guess. Anyway, I'm gonna do this. And, yoink.
Milestone reached. The nuclear power plant produces dangerous radioactive nuclear waste.
That it does.
Fix-It reminds you that any extra limbs resulting from exposure to radiation are also contracted to work on project assembly. Fix-It also reminds you that willful exposure to radiation will not result in any bonuses regardless of how many functional limbs it produces. Project part number 7, the magnetic field generator, should enter production as soon as possible. Any unnecessary delays will be noted.
There are necessary delays in the form of I don't have anywhere near enough stuff built up to do that yet. So you'll just have to deal with that. Also this. I wanted to do some stuff. I waited until now to submit it, obviously, but I wanted to get some additional research done for various reasons.
Rocket fuel unlocked. Pioneers will be able to use rocket fuel in the fuel generator and any vehicle that uses fuel, including the jetpack, with appropriate results. Warning: mixing rocket fuel into coffee does not enhance its energizing effect.
It's going up. Is that so? Plastic and rubber builds? Nice. It's all already gone. Okay. By the way, I looked at the lizard doggos. They found some of those. Not nukes, but still. Yeah, okay. So 5 extra coupons, just 128,000 points. Not that bad. I had to buy, I think I ended up buying 1,000 aluminum sheets because I'm just out. I'm just out. That's as simple as it is. But my backlog of resources is getting a bit low. I also bought some of these because I didn't feel like making aluminum to make them, because you need aluminum, clearly. How can I... More recipes in Codex, but I can't get this menu to stay up. Anyway. So, yeah, I wanted to unlock this stuff to get more research going, because I feel like there's some recipes that I want, potentially. Not that it affects what I'm currently doing. Also, I only built that support on one side. Don't mind that. Oh yeah, there's another thing I did. I doubled up on the output of the Caterium wire there, the quick wire. Keep forgetting it's quick wire. So, that's now feeding in at 480 per minute instead of 240. Trains are running. Shame that that one's running right now because I can't catch it. Also, the text off on the right of the screen is what I would need to unlock the other significant thing for the milestones. Yeah, it's a milestone, that's what it's called. And turbo vroomers and supercomputers are not buyable, which is why the supercomputers that I had, the 50, that were for the one milestone that I just completed, they were handcrafted. Well, they were crafted in that manufacturer I have back in my main base. Keeping an eye out for the train, because there's 2 trains active. Not that they're doing much of anything at this point. And, yeah, I had to effectively hand build those supercomputers. And I don't really want to spend the 30 or so tickets to get the remaining stuff. I'd rather just wait, because it's not that important. Okay, this must be the other train, so they were both over at this end. Yeah. Shame that I didn't get to ride the train. You can also see there's a power line running along here. And so that the cable didn't clip, there's a tiny little thing right there. Oh, I could have gone and checked the doggos, I guess. I'm not going to bother right now. So this is bothering me. There. Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. But the 50 supercomputers, which was actually just 25 supercomputers because sloops. So, not nearly as bad. The biggest thing was the plastic. You can see, got the station built right here. Decided to bring it over this way. The line that I showed was actually the main grid, and that's what this right here is for. You need to remember that I still take fall damage. This is just a quick switch to get it off this grid. So no longer is the train actually running off of things, and this goes into there and then over that way. Obviously not clipping or anything. It's an internal wire built into the concrete. Because that's how it works. So yeah, this entire setup is now running off of the main grid instead of some loop generators. But I got basic output set up here. Going down to here. I can eventually have an elevator to accompany this. But for now it's just this. However, like I said, I needed to buy some more aluminum sheets. Because, well, I ran out. I'll make sure I built that actually connected. Anywhere that requires Mark V belts is just gonna be very costly, since I don't have aluminum crafting set up yet. So I can only buy the stuff, basically. Also, this is not a very big platform. Not very big when you consider that I need about 8 refineries for the iron. And I need about 10 for the heavy oil residue, which I haven't even run yet, but the oil is just back somewhere this way. It's literally just over there. But that's the, that's the easy stuff. The 2 Mark V belts, on the other hand, are responsible for 760 per minute? Was it? Yeah, just under 760 per minute. Gonna need about 32 refineries for the Caterium, and about 50 and a half, 50, 51, however you want to look at that, for the copper. Yeah, that's a lot. Okay, there's the one oil slick. And I think, is that the other, or is that just a rock? Well, it is just a rock, but the other one's behind it. But 1, 2. And then I think there's another one that's further either that way or over there somewhere, it doesn't matter. We don't worry about that one. I only need the 2 closest ones, which are both impure nodes. They're going to basically be overclocked to the maximum. How do I want to go about this? Well, first and foremost, what I probably want to do is actually do something like this. Just so I can easily, like, route it off over to this side, and then immediately have your iron set up over here. What was new in there? Oh yeah, the nuke. But I need supercomputers for that, so don't worry about it. Yeah, I mean, I can run it into there. I just can't obviously use that fully. The one thing that's an issue, and of course I forgot to bring an actual inventory with me. I'm not going to worry about any of that. One issue I have is that, especially because I forgot to bring shit, stuff in here runs out fairly quick, especially the concrete. Like, it's at the maximum speed to refill, but the problem is I still haven't gotten enough Mercer Spheres to really upgrade things. Like, I think I could get one upgrade and that's it. So, not ideal. Maybe if I bring the iron over here and I can then bring the oil back around this way and then do all the oil stuff right here. Because I need 10 for heavy oil residue and then another 5 for residual rubber. But I also need about 8 blenders for diluted fuel. And then another bloody recycled rubber, recycled plastic loop. I hate those. Or uploaders on concrete. Yeah, I need to do that, I just haven't bothered. Also, I'm not producing that much concrete, so it's basically just pulling from my reserves. So there's that aspect as well. Okay, do I want pure right or pure left? I want my ma'am. I want pure left. Okay, that's definitely does not seem like enough to fit 8 side by side, so that's fine. I can just do 8 combined. I'm still gonna shove it over in the corner though. I'm probably gonna build somewhat vertically, but I want all the initial refinement and stuff to be on the ground level. I hate that you can't right click that closed. Okay. Your left. Probably don't want. Give me a break. Just give me a break right there. So finicky. I want to offset it like half a tile each way. Killing me, game. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Yeah, you can see if I do that. It's the wrong way around, but that interferes with that, so definitely don't want to do it that way. Okay, now I want to get rid of these. Bring it back to the pure right, and then that'll allow me to do this. About there? Looks good to me. Hey, game. If you could please. Thank you. Do I want to keep this as a manifold style input, or do I want to switch to balance? That's the real question. I guess I need to figure out what the split is going to be on these anyway. On top of swapping this to pure iron. That's the flashlight. That's also the flashlight. So it wants 35, 140 each. Why I need... Where is iron? Up there. I don't need Yeah, I need... Okay. I could have actually left most of that in place, but I'm still gonna redo it. I'm a bit space limited on this side. Going up initially there, and then I just found this wall. Oh yeah, ma'am. Used uranium cell or electric motor. Okay, I'll just put another thing in and we can worry about that in a little bit. I guess what I could do to load balance it is to feed in from both sides and just have one central belt above that then splits over here. Right. So have it like this, right? Doesn't actually matter where these are built up. Can you not be dumb? So put a splitter right here, and then delete all of this. Yeah, I'm fine with that. And split it like that. Let's see. No, divided by 8 is 96.1539. To truly load balance it. To truly load balance it across all 8 instead of just balancing like 1 or 2. Yeah, basically do this on each side, and in reality I could actually save myself a little bit of belting just to do that. I don't see why not. Obviously it takes a little bit longer to set up, but the piping is fine as it is. So that's one thing that saves me a bit of time. Missed something. That's fine. Snap that into there, snap that into there, and that's that side done. Now I just have to do it again. Come on. Was it like... I think it was in line there. I can do the same over here. Build a belt going this way, and one belt going this way. Splitter there, splitter there. Come on. Not the foundations. Then grab all of them, delete them. Then as well, delete those two. replace so that it just snaps into place there, and then put those Mark 1 belts in, and now it's just a matter of building the feed in and out. Those two can go forward like that. And this, of course, needs to be Mark 3. Splitter with some supports. Bring this up slowly up to here. Except that's not in line. Damn it! How did I mess that up? I tried to cycle through that so far. Let's try that again. Avoiding the straight build mode because it does that. I said avoiding that game, I pressed R. Or did I press T? Either way. Except we're going to add this here. Is that too far for it to run? Maybe. This actually only needs to be a Mark II belt. Snap that splitter to there. Likewise, Mark II, Mark II. Yeah, so it's just under 270, which is 135, so I definitely need the Mark III belt here. That is not aligned at all. There we go. Probably can get an idea of what I'm going for here. I hate doing that. Yes, I know that pole is clipping currently. Only for the moment. And then I want to do this. Now that's one belt. I figured as much. Temporary. Just a little less clippy now. Nice. Listen. Unfortunately, the spacing on this means that I need to do this. Fortunately, all the iron ingots are going towards iron wire. So I can just merge them all together like this. However, that also means that I'm gonna have to deal with Mark 5 belts at some point along the way. Are these producing 62.5? Oh, good. So this will immediately be Mark 3. With 125, 250, 375, 500 right at the end. I don't need to worry about that right off the bat, which is nice, I guess. Bernie from Wall-E. I've actually never seen Wall-E, so I don't know who you're talking about. Don't know why, that was just never a film that I ended up watching for whatever reason. If I move it over half a tick. So it's near the edge, but not quite on it. And up one as well. I don't know that this will be far enough out, honestly. Which is to say, it will be, just not sufficiently. Surface is too uneven. Give me a break. Yes, it's clipping. It's temporary. And that's slightly upward. Not ideal. Much easier to do when I'm on stable footing. Just once again merge the belt there. And then you wouldn't cooperate, would you? No. Move this. Like that. And then I can get a Mark 2 belt. There. And up there, and then this would just wrap around like that. And then it snaps, and then I can delete this. Connect it in. Alright. Very nice. Yeah, I noticed I didn't have an alternate recipe for the supercomputer. And that's not even the only one, I believe. But actually, no, that is the last one that I haven't unlocked. I was like, wait a minute. Why do I not have... Control rods are locked behind uranium. Okay, well, it lets me do it. Whoop. I might have just breathed into the mic there a little bit. Apologies if I did. I want to go into here and start marking these off. Electric motor. Sure. Motor. And then this. I mean, Superstate Computer uses batteries, which I really don't care for. Electromagnetic control. Connection rod? Connection rod. Okay. Hey, OBS, stop lagging. Unless your breath sounded like a train horn, didn't hear it. I mean, it might be because there was a train horn that you didn't hear it, but never mind that. I think this is good, except for the fluids. I'll run proper power soon enough. Production... Water extractor, which fortunately... Resource is not deep enough. Well, it's deep enough right there. According to the thing, which I no longer have open, I need exactly 153 water per minute for all these 8. So, yeah, 1 is sufficient for one side. Of course. It's deep enough over here, but where it isn't deep enough is where I want to put it. Oh, come on, give me the snap one. Good enough. Alright, that's the iron done. Honestly, since I just need a bunch of constructors and cable, or constructors for iron wire and cables, I don't even know what I'm going to do with this, whether I'll just like expand over here, or if I'll just leave this purely for the refineries and blenders initially, and put assemblers and constructors up higher, because obviously I got plenty of room here. I guess I should start working on making this a little bit more orderly, though, in terms of laying out power lines. Is that good enough? There. Now it's underneath. Actually not clipping in the slightest. Yes, there's the other cable. Ignore that. Because again, that one's temporary. Hey, static. And this side of things is, well, trying to process. Sure, you know what? Why not? Put one up here. Guess I can't actually do that as much as I wanted to. Because trying to connect it in would have been clipping through the rock. Let's not do that. I could put like a mini post and use the wall outlet. Fine as it is. Also, I've noticed that the sunset here, the lighting is weird at night, so that's fun. Alright, iron is up and running. Yes, that's meant to be a Mark III because it needs to be able to carry, what was it? 135 ore per minute? Thereabouts. Okay, so I can delete this, delete that. That one I'll still keep just for that side. Put a filler in there. So that's the iron production up and running. Do I want to get the oil up and running now, I guess? Keep pulling out Nobelisk and then not putting it back. Let me put back some of it, at least. How much of this can I blow up? Fair bit. There we go. Why use a chainsaw when you can just blow shit up? How far will you actually go? Not too much further. Bring it back to there. Why can you not do that? I don't think that has much further it can go anyway. Yeah, I didn't even need to ramp that. Okay. The other oil spot is there. I'm not going to worry too much about that, though. Put one there, and there we go. Let's see. Oil extractor is going to be necessary. I'm going to spit it out over that way. And this is going to need to be not that many. Definitely not that many. Overclocked basically to the maximum, so I might as well just do the maximum to ensure there's always enough in the pipe. Because I need 289 per minute, which is close enough to 300 that, like, who cares? I might actually redraw this and bring it back down. I mostly wanted it high over the river. Do you want to call that a river? There we go. You're already overclocked. Excellent. Hard drive. Alright, that's wired in. Nitro rocket fuel or uranium fuel unit. I think nitro rocket fuel is what I want if I'm actually to do rocket fuel at some point. 150 per minute for one blender? Damn. And I'm not planning on doing nuclear stuff anytime soon, so let's not worry about that. If anything, I would probably set up rocket fuel, because I've heard that fuels are very powerful in 1.0, whereas uranium, I mean, if you're just doing pure uranium, it's fine, but otherwise it can be a bit of a hassle. You know, I could honestly expand backwards here. There's no reason not to. Yeah, see all this extra room I get? Got some more shit to blow up, sure. That's fine. Might even want to delete that much. Not gonna lie, it being daytime would be nice. Which is why I had that mod in update 5 to make it always daytime. Nine, huh? I need just about 10 for heavy oil residue. Sure. That still works. Definitely want right. Wait, what? Oh. I went to diluted fuel instead of heavy oil residue. Oh, that's what's making all that noise. Rude? Fortunately, they're not after me, despite having just run into me like that. Yeah, there's enough room for 8. But we still got this room right here. Hey, Chaos. Okay, that's a little bit tighter than I thought it would be. That's okay. Make it fit. It goes. Just trying to get this ridiculous computer factory set up. Not overly ridiculous, but It's also not nothing either. There. Now, of course, I could... slow down. I could just overclock a couple and not have to do this. In fact, it's probably better if I just do it that way. Does mean that I need to do that, essentially. That's just temporary for light, don't forget. How about I make you the overclocked one? Yeah, that looks right to me. Have that be right on the input to ensure that it gets filled up. Now, fortunately, all of the inputs and outputs are going to the same spot. Dingle, this is not a game where going faster is a good idea most of the time. Games are not. I'm sure that's really what I want. Let's go with it for now. Then I can do that. And then clip this in. Except it doesn't want to. Why? The other ones are doing that just fine. Why won't you? Thing. I mean, honestly, if I'm gonna rip this up, I might as well just redo all of it so that it's a little bit less horrible. That's the middle one. Basically, I want to feed them all into a central point because I don't know, I want to do it that way. I'm doing it that way. Central point make the most sense? Not really. That's how I'm gonna do it. The bot says it's time for a break. And of course I could just do that, but I don't like doing that. Why? I just never really been fond of clipping it in like that. Said it's time for a break, but I want to do that first. Save on the extra belt by just having it all snap in. No, you know what? I won't do that because I don't know what the outputs are for sure. I don't want to do the wrong thing. let's just make a quick save and then look at the MAM before I do that. Because if nothing else, I can start this. Oh look, there was... No, that's the one I ignored because battery. Which am I closer to in the list? Doesn't really matter. Superstate computer it is. Alright, now we save. And here we are. Still haven't messed with the AFK scene, so it's just this. Still the same old, same old. I honestly keep forgetting that I need to work on the other backgrounds, but yeah. Again, that requires hooking up my external drive, and I still haven't done that in a while. So once I do that, then it'll probably happen. If I remember. Anyway. Yeah. That's been the first part of the stream. I'm now going to take a few minutes to step away, take a break, and... Like this one? I mean, I like this one too. But I figured a bit of variety would be nice once in a while. I'm going to take a few minutes to stand up, stretch, and get away from the computer as the train honks in the background. During this time, I am going to run some ads. It's the only time during the stream that I run ads, prevents pre-rolls for the next hour, and it disables ads happening and prevents ads happening, and because I'm not going to run them myself. But it means no ads during the gameplay, and that's what I strive for. Because, you know, ads suck. So let's not have ads, you know? Except on a part of the stream where you can ignore them. Look, it does add to my income slowly but surely. Mostly slowly. So, I am incentivized to play them. And if you're subscribed, which is currently up to 30% off for only, like, a few more hours, probably? Something like that. You shouldn't see ads. Emphasis on shouldn't. Anyway, like I said, ads will roll when I get back. Ads will be over, and we'll continue with building out this factory. BRB. Alrighty, I am back, and Geeson, I finally saw your screenshot, and yeah, there's a bit of a face there, isn't there? Pretty funny. Yeah, I don't know. It's September, the end of September, so get your regular subs and gift subs, and, you know, there's no bonus to cheering at this point, so don't worry about the bits, I guess. Yeah. You're running out of time to get discounts on that. Which of course means that you pay less while I get the same amount. It's always nice. Anyway, back into the gameplay. Don't really need the flashlight right now. Unfortunately, the time is not really synced up nicely, so it's going to be nighttime during part of this, but oh well. Just ensure that I never lose out there. So that's going to be 20 per minute. 40, that's 60. It's going to be not the same over here. Phase 5 hype? Nice, kiosk. Obviously, I'm not quite to that point yet. This is already Mark 2, and then there's that. How did that trigger a hype train? Do I really have it set that low? Okay. Damn it, the bot spammed the fuck out of chat because 5 is the threshold, except it's configured for over 5. And then 3 is below that, obviously. So, thank you so much, Geeson. Wait, Bot, why? Oh, Geek got a sub. SciTech Evo got a sub as well. Cool. The bot posted a thanks for gifting 5 subs and then proceeded to say thanks for gifting a sub to every single person who received a sub. Alright, well, there's a hype train going on, so if anybody wants to jump on the bandwagon, there's shit there to take advantage of. Otherwise, those who got gifted subs, enjoy your subs. Thank you very much, Geeson. I don't think you broke the bot so much as Twitch changes things and that breaks the bot, but sure. Oh, I want a merger. Right there. Delete that, delete that, highlight those, delete... Come on, really? Delete that. Reselect this. This should be a Mark II. This should still be a Mark II. And then that's going to be a Mark III because I am producing 192.857 polymer resin per minute, supposedly. Also, kiosk, the system there is pretty, actually, well, oh, that's literally it. So you won't let me scan another one. You will let me scan another one. Cool. Maybe... Yeah, okay, maybe. The bot's logic is pretty robust. The problem is that, yeah, if Twitch sends multiple notifications, that's what can throw it off, and that's probably exactly what happened. Because it picked up something that it hasn't in the past either been able to, or hasn't been able to pick up, or it never was a thing before, I don't know. Like that. I have to figure out how I want to do this. That would be closer to... what was it? again? 65. 20. Eh. What I might do then is something like this. Can I get that balanced more evenly? Something like that, I think, should be acceptable. Don't think it plans for 2 sub-events at the exact same time. No! No, it's definitely not. And actually, the way that it works is that it looks at the user notices that come through, which are just events, basically. Also, how much time is left on the hype train? I'm sure you guys are running out of time if anybody else wants to take part in that. That's a level 3 hype train. Oh, it's literally about to expire. Well, 90 seconds? Are you sure? Because, yeah, it definitely just ended. I don't know what emote I got. Because, of course, as a broadcaster, I get an emote as well. Was it the rabbit? It said 90 seconds, then it ended. Well, that was a hype train. Thanks again, Geeson. You managed to get Twitch to give 60% of what you gave, in addition to what you gave. Alright, well, that actually is slightly off. Is that? Right there. There. Of course, I might want to offset it, but regardless. Shall I just fill this gap in here? There. How do I want to do this? Because this is the oil, right? The heavy oil residue. Alright, y'all are annoying me. You're already open. Ah, damn. Good enough. On your side is the Twitch gifted the same. What do you mean, kiosk? I would assume so. I would certainly hope so. If I'm not getting paid for Twitch gifting extra subs, I'm actually kind of going to be annoyed. Like, it's great for you guys getting extra subs, but, where's my revenue from said subs? Prime subs are $2.25. So, yes, they're less. Why would you do it? Chaos doesn't know about this feature. If you take a power pole and you hover over a cable, you can actually add that in the middle of the cable and relocate the wire. I'm not going to do it right now, but you've already seen me do that. Yeah, I would think that they're the same as normal. Otherwise, there wouldn't really be a benefit to bonus subs other than just more people getting subs, which, don't get me wrong, is a great thing. But, you know, as a broadcaster, part of the way you make money is off of subscriptions, so not getting paid for it is kind of... eh. Yeah, it's been a thing for a while, Chaos. Let's put it off the side here. It clears, and it's a small item. It's good enough. Yeah, it's true. I don't know that it actually tells you about that anywhere. But it is definitely a feature. This will all back stuff eventually, once the belt and pipes fill up. That's a non-issue. If I want to continue with this, I have the choice of doing more refineries for residual rubber or blenders for diluted fuel. I almost feel like I should just do the blenders to get them out of the way, because the refineries, I mean, I'm going to need more for recycled rubber and recycled plastic, which is an annoying loop, but whatever. What do I actually need for blenders? Stuff that I have for the most part. Gonna need a fair amount of water is the only thing. I can probably pipe it in from back over here somewhere. Unfortunately, I don't have any blueprints with blenders. No. Don't have any blueprints with blenders, so can't speed them up. First blenders I've properly built? Jesus Christ. What am I going for here? Diluted fuel? Why is the mixture turned purple? At least that's a nice indicator to say that yes, this was applied properly. Okay, so for this I want... You know what, let me just do this again. $85.7145. That was correct. Picking up the tab for the subs? Oh, is that what they're doing? Interesting. Alright, there's an infused uranium cell, and this is the final one that I can do. Got me a couple more recipes. So I can go ahead and put them away along with the slug. I'm not going to need to research anymore. Is this going to be too tight? No. It'll be fine. Actually, if anything, If anything, what if I was to do this? So that's 325, and then this row can be responsible for the remainder. 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Not the most efficient way to do it, but this also allows me to have 2 lines that are equally balanced for the cost of 1 extra blender. Technically 2 if you want to consider overclocking. Scanner, the interactive map for the hard drives? Interactive map. Yeah, I use the interactive map combined with the knowledge that I already had. Mostly I used the interactive map to figure out which items I needed and exactly where the hard drives were for the ones that I wasn't as familiar with their location. And then the summer sloops. I needed it for the summer sloop. Some of the hard drives I didn't need it for because I just know, I've been playing this game since update 4. I know where shit is. Heavy oil residue and water. Also, I'm just glancing over at OBS and it's kind of funny. It's saying that the hype train completed, blah, 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 blah. Your community contributed a total of 8 sub-gifts. Actually, I think they only contributed a total of 5, but, close enough. It wasn't the community that contributed the other 3. So it was as a result of their contributions, so. Nah, I don't want to do that. Trying not to use the map. I mean, that's fair. I'm not against using it myself because, I've got... How many hundreds of hours in this game again? Right, just under 720 at this point. So... It's not as though I don't know my way around the map or anything, it just saves me a bit of time and exploration. Because it's not like things have changed that substantially since the previous updates. And Kiosk, meanwhile, is over 1,200 hours. How much does this actually require? So these are 212.5. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. A lot is AFK, but Steam doesn't track activity. Yeah. 90 hours after 11 days, not bad. Decent. Not bad. Yeah, let's run it along that line, shall we? Something like that should do it. I'm gonna need twice as much water going in, huh? Okay, then I might not actually want to do it like that. Yeah, sure, you know what? You can do that. Why not? That there. Having the height adjust throws me off, clearly. That much head lift requirement should not be an issue. I'm actually going to want to jack these up a little bit as well. So that I can get the outputs out underneath of there. They're at slightly different slopes, but there's not much I can do about that reasonably. Not without clipping. Actually, if I do this... Probably like that will be sufficient. And then along here... I should put them in first or something. And then go from there. Is 2 not gonna be enough? Okay. 2 is not enough. Fair enough. Well, as though I don't have the space to do a third. Alright, let's try that again. That is not snapping properly. Okay, now it is. I want to give it a bit of space. Okay, I want these here. In order to have sufficient room. go. Flip this around, space it about the same, 2, and wow. Well, that's fine. I don't really need all 3 running at full speed, but I'm still gonna do that. Because why not? Okay, good, it ran the right way. That little swoop up is also why I did not put it closer to the concrete, because that's always an issue. If you put it too close, it can't make that curve, and then you have got the problems. There we go. That should be 360 on each. I need a total of 770. Right, so this side needs 325, so that side is okay. The other side needs 446. So I need to put another one of these down. Well, easy enough. Not you, just that. Oh. About that. Alright, we're going to redo that. And this one will place neatly. You in like that, you in like that, and then that will get the 480 that it doesn't need as much of. I could totally reduce this down to 1 tile width, but I'm not going to because I don't care. Fine as it is. Part of me does want to just rush Phase 5, but I'm so low on aluminum products, and, you know, I don't have much in the way of computers and things like that, so... It's a bad idea for me to try progressing further than I already have. That final Sam named item. If you're talking about that, then I can't believe you honestly have waited this long to do that. If you're talking about something else, then that's spoiler territory for me, so... Obviously best to leave it. The fluctuator, yeah, okay. Yeah, it'd probably be good to make that at some point. let's see, the polymer is Mark III. I mean, I can still put that there. I don't strictly need it. I don't know what I'm doing with this yet, so I'm just running it so that it has a place to go to. Kind of funny how we have 10 different hotbars we could use. Thanks Satisfactory, thanks Coffee Stain, yeah. And yet I've only ever used 2 of them. Don't know why. I just don't really feel the need to use more. You know, you can totally use up to 10. Early on you crafted a shit ton, fair. Considering how prevalent you need them sometimes, how prevalent the need for them is, I just obviously set up the automation early, especially because you can sloop it and then you get more for less. Somewhere this needs to swap over to Mark II pipes. Got this one. Okay, so this row of blenders is going to be producing fuel for the recycled rubber, and the other side is going to recycled plastic. Oh yeah, they do require manufacturers, don't they? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I automated and put into the thing. This is the very first thing, clearly, that I put in, because it's right at the top of the list, ignoring all this shit which came later. But I automated that, and then as soon as I unlocked manufacturers, then I did that. I didn't wait too long. I guess I should replicate what I did over there. This one? How far off was I? Flipping was 1, 2, 3, 4. Makes sense. Was it from clipping or just off of clipping? Just off of clipping. Like that. Sure, why not? I don't know that a single pipe will stretch quite that far. No, not even close. I hate that this doesn't snap. Also, it feels too early still to be using the flashlight. Always a good practice to redo pipes. Yes, pipes from junctions. Yeah, that's definitely where that belongs. Do it like that. Remember, I mentioned the last time I streamed, I said that a pipe was going to the wrong spot for the water setup that's over that way. This is what it had done. It was supposed to connect to this, but it had wrapped around and gone to there, and with the confines and everything, it was not obvious until I got there and actually looked at it more closely. Almost forgot that one. Alright, well that's the fuel setup. That's right where the belt is, isn't it? Where do I hook this into the system? Could just do that. It's going through the bottom, it's fine. No packaging diluted fuel? Why on earth would I do that, kiosk? When I have a blender. Is this? No. It's regular diluted fuel, because I have blenders. For all this extra crap that I just can't put back in. Kiosk, your phrasing is horrible. And the fact that you left out words initially does not help with that. Words are hard. I'm not going to disagree with that statement. Okay. I miss my modular power suit. I'm not sure how I want to do this. I need to do 15 refineries for recycled plastic and 11 for recycled rubber, but I also need to fit an additional 5 for residual rubber. Guess what I could do is something like this. Get it just that little bit closer. I clipped the tiniest bit there, but that's fine. This is residual rubber. I'll have to obviously change that because this is not meant to be residual. But I don't think I have recycled in here. I don't see it, certainly, so fine as is. Instead of residual rubber, this will be recycled rubber. That's 12, which I don't need. I only need 11. Recycled rubber is getting its output split 300 to something and then 350 to recycled plastic. Please tell me that's more or less easy enough to figure out. Yeah, more or less. These are producing 60 per minute, right? That is the wrong hotbar. You know what? No. And in fact, that means that this is going to end up at 50. Technically, it's 350.001 and 299.999. It's not going to matter. $60, 120, 180, 240. Also, at some point, 120, 180, 240, 300, 350, and then 60, 120, 180, 240, 300. I'm not going to care about the 299.9. It's so close that it's probably just rounding errors in the program. Alright, so this is recycled rubber, which I can't do much with at the moment. This is the 446. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? That's the one that needs to go over this side. Right there? Nah. One off. Build that out to there, and then this can go to the other side and be good. So the plastic that will be feeding this is coming from the recycled plastic side of things, which is going to go over here somewhere. Probably don't need that, although obviously kind of need that. This void should be fine. You know, I could probably use this void to build the the residual rubber, and then just route the copper and caterium around this way. Yeah, sounds good to me. Time is it? Just about time for another break. It honestly doesn't matter which one I use. Damn it. It always swaps around the damn blueprint. Okay, that's actually aligned correctly. But I can bump it in a little bit closer because, like, you know, why not? And yeah, the power here is right up against the back of it, but that's fine. I can totally fit another one back here. Will I need all this space? I don't know. Totally don't need it right this second. Two poison spiders? Yikes. That's a massive nope. Recycled plastic. Whoops, he's overreaching. That one's still seemingly right. Nope. That would... Okay. Mouse without border shortcut, thank you very much. recycled plastic. That one's still recycled. At some point I must have Control-C'd it. I'd rather hit B than C in that instance. So how many is that at this point? 13? Definitely not getting any of those. I can't... No, I can get those. Rid of those, and those, and those, and those. Don't grab the cable, please. Thank you. There we go. 13 plus the additional 2. And I can work out the specifics as I go to put it all together. It's a little tight down there, but that's fine. That's by design. I don't think you're still operating, so why are you showing yourself still operating? Also, what are you even making? Just throws it back there. That one's not moving. That one's not moving. Why are you moving? Nothing's happening. Anyway. Time for another break. So close again. Alright. AFK scene. Oh shit. Didn't even occur to me that, but because of Geeson's gift subs and Twitch's contribution, we're currently up to 20 subs on the channel. That's the highest it's been in a long time. This entire year? Has it really been that low for that long? Since like September last year, probably? No way. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. Ouch. Anyway, yeah, I don't get a lot of contributions on the Twitch side of things anymore, which is fine. Which is fine. If you don't want to support Twitch, I understand. Seems wrong to you, but you don't know. I mean, it does seem wrong, but I don't think I've been getting as many contributions on Twitch as I have through tips. Which again, I get more from tips than I do from subs. Bits, you pay the fees, so I get 100% of what you cheer. You know, 1 bit is 1 cent. But subs, 50%, 50% plus fees, so... And then Prime subs are just $2.25, so they're even less in most cases. Some regions, the regional pricing differences means that it goes below $2 potentially, but never mind that. Anyway, yeah, that's the stuff you guys don't need to worry as much about. But yeah, I mean, if I had to choose a preference, tips over bits and subs. You guys don't get emotes by tipping, but it does give me more in the end, and it gives less to Twitch. So if you prefer that way, then, you know, win-win? I don't know. Anyway, it's time for a break. I'm going to take a few minutes to stand up, stretch, and get away from the computer for a little bit. While I'm away, I am going to run some ads. It's the only time during the stream that I run ads, besides the very beginning and end of the stream. And by doing it this way, it prevents any pre-rolls from running, and basically ensures that the gameplay is completely ad-free at the cost of some ads during parts of the stream where nothing really happens. And so you can just mute it, put it in the background, or, you know, if it's the end of the stream, you can just close it. I always prefer if you stick around, especially if you're a sub. You shouldn't see ads, but I should still get some kickback from it. You know, do as you will. Anyway, when I come back, we'll continue working on this factory. Hopefully I can, well, I should be able to get the rest of the oil processing done. And then we can start moving on to the copper and caterium processing. Oh boy, like I said earlier, 31.5 refineries for caterium, 50.5 for copper. That's a lot. Anyway, BRB. Alrighty, I am back, and I actually did just have a look at my analytics, and yeah, this is the highest the sub count has been since September last year, when somebody tipped? When somebody gifted 50 subs. Don't know who. Whoever you are, thank you. But it doesn't say it, just says how many subs. I was looking at the sub count per month, basically. Yeah, kind of crazy to think that it's been a year since the sub count was 20 or higher. It probably was Dingle, honestly, if that's who you're thinking it was, Static. By the way, if somebody gifts 50 subs at this point, we'll be very close to... Well, I mean, that would put us probably somewhere... 50 subs, that would be... That would put us somewhere between like 60 plus, well, at least 60 additional subs. So that would put us close to 100, and then we'd be much closer to that next sub goal, which is mostly there just because I don't really have another goal in mind. If somebody were to gift like 75 subs, I think we would probably hit that goal. Depending on how generous Twitch wants to be, of course, but that's a lot of subs, to be fair. That's a lot of money. But it's less money than it normally would be. Now, the entire reason why I have that set up to 115 sub points is because that is when I unlock my next emote slot. And if I unlock another emote slot, I'll have 4 regular emote slots available, which means I can take an existing emote and make a 2x2 large emote of it. I don't know if anybody really wants that, but I could do that. I'm mostly saying this because it's the last hour of stream before the end of September. So, just saying. Or, you know, don't. That's fine too. Anyway, yeah, I can probably squeeze... I mean, I can definitely squeeze 5 things, and the question is... do I want to do it, like, right here? It's gonna be residual rubber. Actually, it is already residual rubber. I want left. And I want to leave a bit of space behind for stuff to sneak out and around, and stuff from here to sneak out. Yeah, that seems fine to me. You're not gonna let me do that right now. Fair enough. So as a result, I am going to redraw all of that. Where? Okay, you're right there. There. How much fluid is going into there? Just under 200, so 2 water pumps will do it. That's the polymer resin right there. I'm gonna have to pipe more water in, simple as that. No, didn't think so. Technically, I can underclock these and they'll be fine, but I honestly don't care enough to do that. Is this where it was originally? Yeah, I guess. No, not like that. If I do this, I can ensure I get proper alignment. Then bring it up and wrap around. And no clipping because it's done properly. Though that said, I can totally then get rid of those because it's not needed. And just make that one straight run. Unfortunately, that one is needed. Love it when it does that. Try this again. Little squiggle to get it in line with all that, and that's fine. Yeah, I'll do that. Why not? Actually, I probably want it like there. It's clipping a little bit, but that's fine. Get the rest of these set up, even if only temporarily. And then we take these four and redraw them because I can just save a belt that way. And then how much do these take in? 40 per minute? I only need this residual rubber. This is the only one that I actually need to set. No. There we go. Just do that one right off the bat. And then the rest are all set properly. They take 40 per minute. 120, 160, not quite 200. And then this rubber will go that away and feed these when I get to setting that up. Let me get this stuff routed first, I guess. It's actually positioned there, huh? Right to there. Your world is basically hard driveless, as is mine. Not quite literally. After all, I still have these in here, but one pod left. Gee, I wonder which one it is, Kiosk. Definitely not the one in the northwest corner of the swamp. No. Couldn't be that one. How am I gonna do this? This one I haven't redone either. I haven't set up any of these. No, I have. Right, I've set up the inputs, or the outputs, but not the inputs. That was the 325, right? This is recycled rubber. There are kiosks. There's like 5 drives extra in the world, so you don't need to collect that final one. Pretty full. Yeah, I don't need Mark 5 or Mark 2 after that point, but I'll put it there anyway. Oh, how do I want to do this? I might as well just manifold it, in which case doing it this way is fine. I just need to upgrade the belts. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 325. Yes, there's the one over there somewhere that's slightly lower, but doesn't matter. Completionism compels you to. Well, you're in phase 9 or phase 5 now, so you can. Guess I'll just do the same thing here. $90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 240, 270, 300, 330, 360, 390, 420. Plays it. Something. I think right there should be good. Like there. I actually don't want to do that. Hopefully you just snap. You do. And then, yes. Then we redraw those to snap them in. Then fill in the missing belts. How much do these output? Well, you're outputting less, but that's fine. You're just merging in there. Don't need to worry about that. 20, 40, 60. Not quite 100. Actually, but which one is which here? 20, 180, 240, 260? 300. So 300's on the bottom. Okay. Doesn't want to build it where I want it to. That's not gonna... Yeah, no. I need to move that back slightly. But 350 plus 32. Point is, it's about 450 total, and it's all going over there. To that splitter. Because the remainder of the rubber that's actually going somewhere is down there. Yeah, sure, right there, why not? Can I just... I totally can. Part of me doesn't want to manifold this, but I think I am just going to manifold it. There. I mean, I basically already decided I was going to manifold it, but still. I need to get the fuel up here. It is right here. Right there. Kind of. Will you actually let me nudge? Damn. I mean, it clips a little, but to be fair, this belt is so massive that it clips with so many things, so I don't really care. Actually, I'd be better off just doing that in one, wouldn't I? So I changed my mind partway through on how I wanted to do this. Oh yeah, and it's flowing plentifully. Those blenders have enough head lift? Not a problem. I mean, what is that? Like 5 meters? 6 meters, maybe? It's nothing. $120, $150. No, that would be $180, $240, $300. So put the Mark II's there. There we go. Though obviously I don't need that there. I can get away with just that. Okay, so that belt is there. You're getting fluid. I haven't done the output of that yet, but that's okay. This is all working. And you don't have a fluid output, so that's fine. Yeah, see, Chaos, that's why I went and got all the hard drives and went for the alt recipes and the hard drive scanning after a point, because, like, I wanted to be ready for that. So that I wouldn't have to be like, man, alt recipe, rethink things. No, I'm planning far enough ahead that I don't have to worry about that. I should really start working on this. But I'm doing this instead, because I decided to do this first. By the way, when did they add the ability to just remember what the power pole was? Was that update 6 or update 7? Either way, great change. I don't think I downclocked any of these, right? So I'm just gonna figure out... How in the fuck am I supposed to get 35 plastic a minute somewhere? That is obnoxious. Okay, how about this? I just do 175 roughly per minute. It's probably going to be like 180 though. Because you do 60 per minute. 120. And then 180. Whoops. This is why I was putting it in the back instead of the front. Have to do some load balancing bullshit to get that correct. 20, 80. 240. 300. 360. Which is actually more than I want, because I need 325 to feed back into the residual rubber. $20, 180, 240, 300, and then another 360, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna need to do some load balancing, which is really annoying. Oh, I hate vanilla load balancing. Hate it. Ragdoll still exists as an augmenter is being built. Heh. Interesting. I'm surprised that reached. Well, if it reached for that, then it reaches for this. However, I'm kind of clearanced out of room. But we do it this way. That can go there. That can go there, and then you can go down. And I can avoid clearance issues. Oh boy, how am I going to load balance this? Yeah, you're not receiving any items. You don't have any power, because I never ended up hooking you up yet. Bit of an oversight at the moment. The wire clipping isn't the end of the world. There's those running. Don't really need that attached anymore. Just do that like that. Honestly, do I even need this? There, you can work again. Is that really? Yeah, it's still only 60 per minute, so it doesn't need to be any faster. Okay, so this Mark III belt, I need to have 140 per minute, and it has 130. So what I can actually do, I guess, might as well just use this space to do it. Something like that should be fine. The one thing I never automated. Funnily enough, my copper sheet production is fast enough that it easily keeps up with the AI limiters, but because it requires 20 quick wire, despite having double feed, it still doesn't keep up. Is good enough for now. I'm just gonna plop those in there so I don't need to worry about it. Split 140. I really don't need smart splitter. This. If I split this off this way at 60. There is the 140 per minute that I need for something. That's 140. That leaves me with 40 over here. I've got 20 back here, and then this is 5 and 5. If I was to do a merger like this. Maybe not. Right, you need to be further over, don't you? Make that work. So that's 20. That's 10. That's 5, and then this is an additional 5 that can go off somewhere. So that's the 35 plastic that goes to AI limiters. Sure. That's that. Now we're getting a little squeezed here. Making sure that this still makes sense, yes. So this is the rubber that isn't being used yet. That's 350 rubber, which goes... no. That's 300 rubber that's going towards material. As a side note, this is plastic, not iron. Oh, give me a break. Like this static. $100, yes. We'll need 325 plastic, and then the rest can all go off one way. I mean, if I send that in over that way, and then do that. Oh yeah, the player model can ragdoll. Being run over by a truck can cause it, or a tractor. And there's a few other scenarios as well where it happens. I'm fixing that. Oh, I never redrew that, apparently. Because I was never expecting to redraw that. Any others? No polymer resin, no polymer resin. Why so little polymer resin? Because we're back stuffing? Yep. Yeah, Chaos, that means you managed to get the two that I couldn't, I'm guessing. You should probably know what two those are, if you did get them. So that should be 365, and this is 360. I need to split that 360 down to 325, though. Does that avoid clipping enough? No. It's worth a shot. Default will be there, and then I don't know which outside I want to be overflow yet, so I'm going to set that to none. It probably still will send one out this way. No? Good on you. Not sure which two it could be. Well, there are two kiosks that are a bit spicy. A bit too spicy to pick up normally. Remember the one where I had the uranium pile? More than two? I mean, there are plenty that are spicy, but there are two that are too spicy to handle, if you will. Can't just fly in and grab it. Yeah, there are kiosks, aren't there? I don't know, Static. No. No. One of the jump pad things will ragdolled. I believe you get jump padded. Does it fold around obstacles? I don't believe so. Yeah, I think the only way to cancel a ragdoll is to just land and stop moving and wait for enough time to pass. Okay, I need to figure this out quickly, because it's 10 of. So this is 60, and I want to get it down to 25. I mean, I see how to do that. So that is 40 going that way. And then here's the other 20, which is getting split down to 10. That's 50 and 10. Well, 10 and 10, which becomes 50 and 10. And then that 50 gets split to 25 and 25. Wait, no, that's not where I want that. Actually, I want that over here. Alright, that's good enough. That's that, whatever that is. This will be 392 or so. Full damage seems negated. But you can still die from being ragdolled, considering you can fall into pits. I don't need to enter, but I am. And then this, I believe, is the 300 rubber a minute. And then this is 325 per minute. And this is plastic. Alright, so I've got 325 per minute. I've got 140 per minute. I've got 35 per minute, and I've got 392 per minute. In theory, that's what that should be. And yes, I'm aware that that's clipping. I don't care at this moment in time. And then that's 300 rubber per minute. And the best part is this needs to go over to there. I don't entirely understand why it's doing what it's doing currently, but I'll take it. I mean, I guess here's a question. Can I do this? Okay, how much do I hate that? You know, I don't. It's still a mess. I'm okay with that. I don't need that, and I don't need that. So the 140 plastic per minute will go off towards supercomputers. The 392 plastic per minute will go off towards circuit boards. The 300 rubber per minute will go off towards computers. And the 35 plastic per minute will go off towards AI limiters. And pretty much all of those need quick wire. Yeah, it's not load balancing perfectly at the moment, but again, this complicated load balancing setup kind of requires that things be moving, which is not what's happening currently. Technically, if people were annoyed by the fact that it's only 2 posts, I could probably not do this. Because apparently it's identical to what's already there. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about that. Hey, bot. Oh, there you are. Literally as I say that. Alright, well, I mean, it's working. Didn't even have all of that built. I ran out of that conveyor lift, and both Mark V conveyor lifts from there weren't done, but the oil processing setup is basically complete. I just need to actually utilize the materials, and well, then it will start working. That's the iron processing right there, and then out there somewhere is where the 80 or so refineries for caterium and copper are going to go. Yep. Yep. But we're getting there. Guess I'm just gonna slide back. Because of course, actually, you know what? Both trains are that way, so... Love the light mesh. Both trains are the other way, so I can just not worry about it on my side, on this side. I do have to mind the signals, I guess. But I think one of the trains should be on its way back, so the other should be in the station. Maybe if I'm lucky, both will be on the way back by the time I get there, so I can just run headlong into the end of the station and... I would assume not derail? I don't think they added that as a feature. When I was designing this support right here, I don't think I can really get a better angle on it, but this one right here, that arch, I was trying to use the 8-meter walls because there's no like 8-meter slope, right? But the 8-meter wall is a slope. Unfortunately, because it's a wall, it just doesn't quite look right to me, and so I decided not to do it. Why are you... They keep respawning. I've killed them multiple times. Train got its horn stuck on because I held it as I jumped out. Hi, lizard doggos. Are all 8 of you here? Yes, they are. You can see I rebuilt the pen. Circuit boards, okay. Some more free ticket material. Appreciate it. Rifle ammo, don't need it. Aluminum sheets, I'll take those. Heavy mod frames, cool. Some more heavy mod frames. Good doggos. Yeah, they kept clipping into the foundation, so I tried to build it on a flatter area, and I mean, it seems to be working. Of course, if I wanted to, I could just build it on the grass, and only on the grass, but this area isn't that flat, so I don't know. Anyway, now that the trains are gone again. Oops. And they do have some natural grass as well. Only some, though, again, because of the slope. Idiots. Oh, and the big one's back, too. Thanks. Arm strength is ridiculous. can't decide what to do with the augmenters, because I don't want to just leave them there. But, like, they don't really need to be anywhere so long as they're connected to the grid. Tendons? Who needs those? I don't think those will upload. Also, I almost missed my exit. Deposit that as well. I want to deposit those, want to deposit those, and then the other two can be turned into tickets. Two items got turned into 8 capsules. Love it. These have already been restocked, so like if I do this, it won't fill. Likewise with those. So I can just do this, and those are in. And the Nobilis can go in here, because I'm not wasting those. Nor am I wasting the aluminum sheets, because that's all I've got besides the 600 that are in here. Be enough for now. 32 coupons. We started at like 17, so not bad. Not bad, and we're a little bit closer on the milestones as well. Aeronautical engineering, which I don't care. Leading edge production, obviously I want for miners, and also the turbo vermers are kind of necessary, and the project part. And then there's also this project part, and the particle accelerator. And plutonium, which will allow me to actually make something that's sinkable after I potentially touch uranium in the distant future. Gonna be a while. This also isn't that high of a priority. The inventory slots is the main draw for me. Because I mean, if I do this, I can get the last 2 sloops. Granted, I technically don't need to, but I'm not using those for now. They are there if I want them, but I don't plan on using them that soon. And just as a reminder, they weren't cheated in. Didn't use a mod, because I don't think there are any mods yet. They're still working on that. But yeah, no mods, no save editing, no cheating. I mean, unless you consider bugs as cheating. But they're just sitting over there, not doing anything, so does it really matter? They're there for the future. It's not a bug, it's just an unintended feature. Exactly. Pretty funny bug, actually. The game tries to be smart, but in being smart, it ends up being stupid. But, hey, that's to our benefit. Technically, you can dupe whatever as well. Hard drives, Mercer spheres, food, any item. I could just endlessly dupe aluminum products, turbo vermers, and, you know, I have one supercomputer, I could technically dupe that. Note how I haven't done that, though. Well, as far as you know, but I've literally only duped the sloop. Because there is a very small number of them in the game. And I wanted more. Also, just as a reminder, the amount of sloops that I have in that one chest is enough to generate like 800,000 megawatts. I need all the other resources for the power augmenters, but minor detail? The sloops are the limiting factor, let's be real. Also, last chance to gift subs during September. The stream's ending very shortly. Yay, Dingle! Sports ball. that normally have a Halloween look to it? Anyway, yeah, last chance if anybody wants to gift subs. I mean, you can always do it in the next, like, 4-ish hours once I end stream, but I mean, if you want to shout out now as opposed to, like, Wednesday, maybe tomorrow, but probably Wednesday. Now's your chance. Yeah, I mean, static, considering it's a requirement, at least in the US, to typically get through school. You know that. Soccer as well, I remember doing. Football, not so much. American football. But at the end of the day, at this point in time, woo, sports ball, I don't really care, honestly. But good for you to enjoy it. Cool. I just personally don't care. So yeah, I already said next stream. Gonna be Wednesday, most likely. Baseball, golf, and field hockey? Fair enough. Yeah, I mean, golf is fairly simple as well, isn't it? I mean, there's a couple of particulars, I guess, but... Anyway, yeah, note how that's Legends. I'm not moving on to Area 2. There's one major problem that's stopping me from moving on to Area 2 anytime soon, and that is the fact that I need to play the game a lot, because I need MP. I need about 900 MP still in order to get the evolution item. The final evolution item that I need to get probably Caesar. And to get 900, well, I need at least 9 more satchels. But probably closer to like 20 than not. Because, I mean, the last satchel I got was 100 MP. That doesn't mean the next 9 will be, though. So, yeah, because of that, because they only spawn like once every 3 hours, it's basically play the game or do the thing that I don't want to do and just idle around. Considering there's still a lot of other stuff that I have to do, I can probably complete most of the other decks research before I get the remaining MP that I need. Probably. Be close enough, probably. Anyway. But yeah, I want to do my monthly check-in with Legends, so hopefully the start of November, or maybe even sooner, we'll get to the point of moving on, but I don't know. We'll see. Honestly, I've got a goal in my mind for when to complete this challenge, because it's going to go on a long time. I want to complete it before the next Legends game comes out, and I'm expecting that to be next fall. I have no reason to believe this as being like when it's going to. Yeah, Dingle, I'm kind of in the same boat, honestly. But yeah, I have no reason why I should believe that it's coming out in the fall of next year, other than just like we've not heard anything. So the longer we go on without hearing anything about the next Legends title, the more likely it is that we get that fall release, that Black Friday, not actually Black Friday, but like a week or two before Black Friday release. That's my logic behind that. I don't know anything more than anyone else does, you know? I don't have an insider telling me shit about the game. I just know what we've been told from that one preview back on Pokemon Day, which is not a lot to go off of. But yeah, the silence says to me that it's probably going to be a later in the year release. And personally, I like that. Personally, I'm happy with the later release, because that means more time to polish the game, and if there's anything the Pokemon games have needed in recent years, it's a lot more polish. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, like I said, Legends on Wednesday. The one thing I will say, because I think it just barely fits in, yes, that stream, probably not happening. Doesn't sound like there's going to be FNR again. So, unless that changes, no FNR stream again, which guys are killing my content for YouTube. It's not that big of a deal. Saves me the effort of making the highlights, and then it's not like I make anything off of YouTube anyway. Still, one race? If it doesn't happen, it'll probably just be more Satisfactory. And then Saturday night, I don't fucking know. We don't race anymore, or at least I don't. Other people don't seem to care that, anti-cheat is required now, but I care. Fuck you, Cockstar. Anyway, that's enough rambling. If nobody's gifted subs at this point, I suspect that it's not going to happen, so whatever. Thank you to everyone who has contributed through the month. Yes, that emote. Oh yeah, basketball is the sports ball game, isn't it? Yeah. What was I saying? I don't know. It's time to end the stream. Ads on the way out, as usual. If you don't like that, that's fine. Just leave when I shut up, preferably. Or leave now. Do as you wish, honestly. And I appreciate you sticking around, especially if you're a subscriber, because you shouldn't see any ads. But, ultimately, do as you wish. I'm not going to send you anywhere. I'm just going to run ads. So, like I said, next most likely stream is Wednesday. There is a chance for that to happen, but don't count on it. Not a problem, Static. Thank you, everyone, for showing up tonight. But let me do my proper outro instead. That all being said, that's going to do it for me tonight. Thank you, everyone, for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Later.